good evening. When we want to talk to people, we usually have to think of something to bring up, because when we just go up there with no plan, no idea what to say, it can work, but it can also lead to extremely awkward conversations. So, what I've been doing these past few weeks is I try to have some sort of conversation starter. And these aren't just the basic, oh, how are you? How are you doing? Because people have heard these questions so many times that it's almost brain numbing to them. Obviously. So, what conversation starters do I use? Well, there was an interesting study done that was kind of a speed networking event. And in this event, people would be talking about all kinds of things. And they measured which conversation topics had the most positive interactions between the two people. How long they spoke to each other, how deeply they talked, for how long. I said that twice. And it was very interesting because the topics that they discussed were not exactly what you would expect. On that list of percentage from lowest to highest, one of the highest ones was zombies, as well as physics, video games, tattoos, bands, which isn't that shocking, honestly. Music is always up there. And metal. I'm not even really sure if it means metal like the substance or metal like that type of music. But either way, and I should have it on screen right now, these were the best conversation topics to bring. Now, obviously, this is very vague. I mean, I can't just say, hey, what are your opinions on zombies? But I used this to create a little sheet, you could say, of possible questions that I could ask as a conversation starter. And one that has helped me tremendously, and honestly has been just so interesting because the responses that I've been getting from them are genuinely so interesting. You can really learn a lot about people through how they answer this question. So, my question to literally anybody, kids at my school, at church, just out in public, it's this. Do you think, I would start it exactly like this. Hey, can I ask you a question? Do you think you'd survive in a zombie apocalypse? And then from there, they usually start to think I don't know, I guess I'd probably try to find a safe zone, or some people just straight up say, nah, I'd just take the gun to my head, blow my brains out, no point in staying around. And it's honestly hilarious. Usually we have a good laugh about it. And from there, we ask about weapon types. What types of zombies? Are they runners? Are they walkers? Are they like the clickers from Last of Us? And the conversations are so fun. And of course, you can literally take this exact conversation starter, or you can come up with your own. Because the beauty of this is that the topics that I've given you are very vague. Literally, it just says zombies, it just says physics, it just says video games. You can come up with your own questions about how you would like to approach it. For example, maybe the tattoo one, you should ask, would you ever get a tattoo? Or if you could, what would the character be? That's one I've actually been using as well recently. And once again, you can learn so much about people through this, and it gives them an opportunity to talk about their own likes, their own interests. And the golden rule for talking to people is that you want to make them feel good and feel heard. And when they're talking about their likes and interests, that's a really good step in the right direction. And of course, another beauty of this idea of using these interesting topics to spark conversations is that they allow both of you to participate in the discussion. Because with most conversations, it's going to be one person talking more than the other, which isn't bad. In fact, I recommend that for most conversations, you talk less than the other person. But for a discussion such as, do you think you'd survive in a zombie apocalypse? Then you can give your own opinions about what weapons you would use, or if you try to survive or just end it all. And it won't come across as if you're hijacking the conversation, because this is an open-ended discussion. It's not the same where if you were to ask, I don't know, some boring question like, what school did you go to? Then they'll probably talk for a while about their own school, and then maybe for a brief question ask, what school do you go to? And then you'd have to go on a long discussion about your own school. And it just becomes kind of like a block, a block conversation. They talk, you talk, they talk, you talk. Whereas with an open-ended discussion, like zombies, then you're able to mix the conversation together. You'd use this weapon, I guess I'd use this weapon. Maybe I go to the east side of Africa, maybe I go to the west, and it just flows a lot better, in my opinion. So, how can you implement this in your everyday life? Well, for starters, I want you to write down a few conversation starters that you can use. If you're lazy, just use ChatGPT. Just say, hey ChatGPT, give me 5 conversation starters involving the word zombies, involving the word physics, involving the word video games. And from there, boom, you got it. Save it to your phone or something, and then just try them tomorrow at your school, at your workplace, at the mall, And if you're scared to approach people, don't worry. I'm gonna make a video all about how to start a conversation with people, like actually going to them and saying something. And with these conversation starters that you now have, it should be a lot easier to do so. So, I hope you found this helpful. And I actually have a new Ko-fi, I think that's how you say it, but it's basically where you can support me for making these videos, but no pressure. But I love you for it. Anyway, remember, take action, learn from failure. See ya.